there's a real fight. So there's a real move underway to ban open source, and specifically open source AI, and specifically the math under AI, which is fairly mind-boggling for me as an engineer. Just in the
We're talking about linear algebra.
It's not that complicated, right? Like you're right. It's linear algebra. It's gradient descent. These are fairly basic algorithms. They're taught broadly in schools today. My 9-year-old is starting to learn this stuff.
Nice.
There are videos on YouTube that teach you how to do this. There's textbooks. Yeah. It's like half the kids at the Stanford freshman class are taking the Intro to AI course. They're learning this stuff. But like there are serious, like the discussions in Washington are like disconcerting on this topic because they seriously talk about this. And then there's like outright bans, and then there's also just like sort of what I call sort of the potential for like this sort of stifling blanket of regulation. And the precedent for that is what's happened in the EU, where they have actually done this. They've actually implemented a stifling blanket of regulation, including most recently on AI. And the result is, they've effectively outlawed, to a large extent, they've outlawed technology startups in the EU, and the market has responded. And there's a handful that are really good, but there's not very many. And Europe used to be like amazing. Like half the great tech companies in the world used to be in Europe, and now it's down to a very small number. And so we have this like real life cautionary example of how this can actually go bad. And then we have a fair number of people in the U.S. and in California, which is amazing, who basically want to adopt the EU model, and they're lobbying very hard to do that. Some of those people, by the way, are true believers. They really believe that there's like a profound societal threat or existential threat or various other kinds of threats. They really believe it, and you kind of see it in their eyes. And then there's a bunch of other people that have commercial self-interest, right? And they want to establish monopolies or cartels of different kinds, and they want there to be basically government protection for their business. And so there's this like unholy alliance that's sort of formed up between these two groups.
So there was
a real we just had this real fight in California.
Yeah.